internet dating through social media, is that the way for you to go? Is that the only way that you can meet your future Filipino? What did me and Grace do? Well, follow along and we'll discuss it with you.
Come on.
Hi, guys, we're back again. And, you know, we've had this question actually presented to us a few times now by those who are commenting. And they're really asking the question, what should they do to find a Filipino? You know, where do they go? Which city? How do they contact these people? What did we do? So we did discuss it a little bit in our other blog. So if you want to go back and have a look at it, but we didn't go into much detail.
Yeah.
But I thought, other than giving you proper directions exactly which internet site to use and why to use that site, I thought what we could do is look at it more the broader sense.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, what we did, and maybe if I was to do it again, maybe do it a different way. Okay, and why do I say that? All right, so I'm just going to start off by illustrating the way I went about it. And maybe some of the things I'm going to say now is going to maybe upset Grace a little bit because things maybe she didn't know. But anyway, this is how it goes, and this is perhaps going to serve as a good example of what to do and what not to do. So, I had never used social media before, obviously
Yeah.
just Facebook, but I hadn't really messaged people. I hadn't really used WhatsApp and those type of forms of social media. So what I had done, I had gone on YouTube and
Yeah.
listened to what other bloggers were saying.
Yeah.
And I was looking obviously at the YouTube in different countries. And then what sparked my interest was the Philippines and what some of these other bloggers were doing. And I got interested in the Philippines. You know,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful place. Um, so many places to see. So I got involved with looking at all these sites, and probably to such a degree now that if you were to say to me, do you want to go to this site in the Philippines or go to that site in the Philippines? I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
Because it's felt to me like I've been to all these places. You know, I've done it. I've seen it. Because I've seen so many different bloggers. They've all done it. You've seen different aspects of it. So it's almost kind of spoiled it for me now because I don't really feel like going there. I just would like to go to the Philippines and just enjoy the Philippine life, not going to the Philippines to enjoy some of the sites. Not to say I wouldn't go there and have a look at those sites, but it's not like a major thing in my life now
Yeah.
because I almost can tell you more about those sites than you would if you got the research because I was so interested in it. But that then brought me into like the people.
Yeah.
And this is when I started thinking, well, how do I meet some of the fellow Bible students so that, if I wanted to go to Philippines, I can go and have a look at these sites. And that's when I got introduced to, these dating sites.
Yeah.
Okay. But these were strictly, part of our network. It wasn't a dating site that you would just Google and find, not the common dating sites.
Yeah.
So this is what I did. I just went onto one of these. In fact, I went onto a couple of them.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Grace.
Is it?
Because that's what you do. You don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And obviously you just put in your details and who you are and what you are and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I never made, and this is I think an important thing for people to do, is kind of tone down
Yeah.
everything about yourself if you want to go on these dating sites to specifically probably to people in Asia. So that's what I did. I just basically said I need somebody young at heart
Yeah.
that could come and travel with myself and get involved in my ministry because that's really at the heart of what I wanted to do. I wanted somebody that was healthy enough,
Yeah.
somebody that was strong enough to go to areas where maybe you don't have all the luxuries.
Yeah.
It's going to be a kind of difficult life. So I didn't want to like say that I've got a place in America and I've got 5 cars and 2 boats and this and that. Like what you guys probably got.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything like that because, okay, firstly, I didn't have that. I just got divorced and had to give everything up that I had. But I also just wanted to keep it real. I wanted to look for the woman that was able to have a simple life
Yeah.
like the one I was looking for. And that's probably what kind of pushed me to the Philippines because, as you guys know, in the Western world, women don't want a simple life.
Yeah.
They want all the mods and cons. And, to find one that really wants a simple life, well, it's quite difficult. And I've just never ever met such a person or
Yeah.
heard of such a person. The ones that were like simple, when you delve into it, they weren't. They had a lifestyle.
Yeah.
They were scared to change that type of lifestyle. They wanted you to maintain that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And yes, I could have done that, but then, I would have gone back to the same situation I was in. And, I didn't want to go back to that. I wanted a change, something
Yeah.
different for myself in my future. And I really wanted to get into the ministry in a bigger sense. Go where there was a need and be open to be sent wherever, whether it's the bush. And
Yeah.
obviously, I fancied Africa, so that is where my heart kind of lay. And if I was to be sent out to the bush to do that kind of work, I'd want to do it. But I needed somebody that could follow me. And yes, I did. I did have lots of people from Africa saying they would love to do this with me because they're used to that type of life.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't attracted to that type of person. I mean, they're beautiful, but just certain aspects that just I thought was going to be a bit difficult, and I
Yeah.
didn't want it. But I never like gave up the thought that maybe I'd have to do that. So when the Philippines came out, I thought, wow, okay, let me try that. And you know what you do? You just try it. You just send out a blanket letter who you are, what you are, and I just left it at that. And because I'd been in a relationship for 35 years,
Yeah.
so it was my first relationship, never date. I didn't know how things really worked with women, and maybe how things have changed in that 35 years. So I wasn't really, like experienced data. Let's put it that way. I was pretty green, and so I was pretty bowled over
Yeah.
when I got all these responses. And literally, guys, you're going to get hundreds and thousands of
Yeah.
responses. And there's so many women out there needing a good man, and
Yeah.
that's quite obvious. So initially you think, oh wow, this is going to be something that I
Yeah.
can organize quite quickly. But then as you go through them, and you tick them on and off and cross and tick,
Yeah.
you start and you find one or two that you want to talk to. You start talking to these people,
Yeah.
and that is the pro. That's the good thing about internet dating because you
Yeah.
can talk to a person the other side of the world, okay, somebody you've never seen, and you can talk to them, and very quickly within days
Yeah.
you can find out that actually no, this person is not the right person for you. They might be baggage, or
Yeah.
they might have children, or they can't leave the Philippines. There were certain things I need. I need a person to be able to move wherever I go. And I didn't want somebody stuck in one place and I'd have to be living there. So there was all different lovely women. I got nothing wrong with the women, but it was just their circumstances. And I started getting all these calls from persons from 45 up to 70. Everybody, um, and it felt good. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's another thing. You do get this feeling that it's nice because all of a sudden you've gone from a person who's not spoken to a woman
Yeah.
for years, and especially a different woman, another
Yeah.
woman, to all of a sudden having literally hundreds
Yeah.
that you got access to if you want to. So that's kind of a nice feeling, that. But it's a dangerous kind of a feeling too, because you can just get caught up
Yeah.
with just chatting to different women, and then obviously women and even yourself, you can get really closely tied
Yeah.
to a person. It's almost like this thing I've always had in my mind. You could actually live with any person. this thing about love, and you got to find the right person. Well,
Yeah.
in many cases, like I've seen, especially on this online dating, there's so many women out there, and they've all got such nice quality. You could actually probably live with any woman, or
Yeah.
most women anyway. So it's just now you have to find a woman that's kind of fits your circumstances. And my circumstances were quite flexible, I thought, quite easy. Um, but when you look at a person who's 45 to 70, they pretty much stuck in a rut, their own little rut. They've got family, they've got children.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to leave her daughter, she doesn't want to leave her son. She's got debt,
Yeah.
or she's got this society thing. She's living in a beautiful house, and she wants to keep that house going, and that house belonged to her husband, and so she wants to keep. It's just like so many bits of different kinds of baggage, and kind of this opened my eyes to
Yeah.
exactly what's going on out there, and it's very difficult. But you start feeling less sorry for yourself because you start feeling more sorry for other people when you hear, what their needs are and what their requirements are. But obviously, all of this quickly, within weeks,
Yeah.
I realized this is not going to work because
Yeah.
all these people that I'm talking to are, you know, they're not going to fit in with what I need. I need a bit of flexibility where I can go and live anywhere and move about if I have to move about. And if I'm called to do an assignment, I must be able to move.
Yeah.
I don't have to get answerable to, or have to deal with their children. Or anyway, to cut a long story short, I kind of at this stage thought I'm never going to find somebody. That you start realizing very quickly, and I'm talking about very quickly, weeks,
Yeah.
that this is not going to work. There's nobody out there because they've all got difficult situations that are not going to fit in with mine. And either I'm going to have to make the change. I'm going to have to decide, okay, I'm just going to stay in the UK and just marry somebody there, and
Yeah.
kind of carry on the life I had and have a stable life, and perhaps keep the house. And some of these people were quite wealthy
Yeah.
as well. So there was some nice signs because you think, okay, could I have a nice easy life with this person, or or I'm going to go with this person who's full of debt, and I'm going to have to get her out of debt before I even start anything. And there were so many contrasts
Yeah.
of people, and literally you found this out in weeks. And it didn't really cost you much to do all this. It's just a
Yeah.
lot of time and speaking and chatting. But having said that, it was quite enjoyable, especially when you are lonely. You got nobody.
No.
You're all on your own, which is horrible. And then I kind of was fiddling around the one day, and I noticed that on my particular app, I obviously, when I signed up to the whole thing, I put in like ages
Yeah.
between 45 and up. So that's why I was getting people from 45 and up. And then I thought, well, maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's an age thing.
Yeah.
What happens if I just get rid of it, untick that box? Untick that box, and then just have a see what happens. And when I did that, then, I got other people, people in their 30s, people in their 20s. And that was a different story, a total different story, because you're
Yeah.
looking at a different kind of. Yeah, so that's when I started thinking about, you know, this is a whole different situation now because I'm getting a whole different spectrum
Yeah.
of people. And in many ways, the ones that were under 45, they were a lot more flexible in what they were prepared
Yeah.
to do. A lot of them though were in financial difficulty, all right, like serious financial difficulty.
Yeah.
A lot of them you could see were really just looking like what you've been talking about, people looking for money, a way out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Lots of them also had children, uh, which, I don't mind children. I love children, but I don't particularly want the responsibility of somebody else's child.
Yeah.
That was just something I had at the back of my mind. So having
Yeah.
my own children, that's fine. Looking after those, that's fine. Um, But I just thought if I could pick and choose, that's what I'd rather have. Because in the end of the day, I didn't want to have to deal with somebody else's, ex, for
Yeah.
instance. And then also delving into it, very quickly, like I said, days you find out a lot of information, and there's lots of exes, and that's another thing I just battled with.
Yeah.
I just really didn't want to be dealing with any of that either. So that's basically when Grace came on the scene, and when I put in there for younger, and Grace's um, picture came up, right? But there's a danger in that as well,
Yeah.
and this is perhaps what we can discuss. Is on what's it, social media,
Yeah.
you can do so much with your profile
Yeah.
to really hide who you are. Okay. And so it takes quite a bit of time to speak with a person before you really find out
Yeah.
whether or not they are who they say they are. Okay. So that's one of the dangers. And it is a huge danger. And I think you've got to be quite skilled at kind of, and not gullible and not so desperate to
Yeah.
be in a relationship to kind of pick up on all these basically red flags. But even having said that, I'm just like, we can just use our example, for example. I mean, when I met Grace, I mean, this English girl from the Philippines, she spoke so nicely, super intelligent. And I actually was worried. I thought, no, she can't be this age because she's super intelligent.
Yeah.
And, her English and the other ones that I'd spoken to, their English was terrible.
Yeah.
But this one's English was fantastic. So it was easy to communicate with her. So I thought, wow, okay, so there's lots of pluses there. Uh, she's beautiful. But there was one thing that kind of concerned me a lot was the fact that whenever she sent me a picture, or the pictures that I even saw on
Yeah.
her profile, it looked like there was 3 or 4 different women there. And I just thought, these Filipinos, they kind of, just the way they do up their hair, they can look like a total different person. I just didn't know enough about social media to understand what was really happening. And Grace being Grace, she loves playing around with her. I think she was on that site, I think, just to play and just to see how
Yeah.
things are, because she would upload these pictures that weren't even her. I mean, they were her, but obviously they were done through
Filter.
filters. Yeah. So this girl, looked different every time I saw her, and it kind of boggled my mind, like, how's this possible? And a lot of the time, I said to her, I think I'd even said to you, "Are you scamming me? I mean, is this how many people are here? Is it you? Who's you?" And anyway, but the other part of it was this English.
Yeah.
Now, funny enough, she kept that up for 8 months before I kind of got to her. But when I got to her and I said hello to her, do you know that she couldn't even answer me.
Yeah.
She had no English, you know. And this is the difficulty you have. Now, can you imagine? Perhaps if I'd known that before I'd left and
Yeah.
travelled the other side, and I'd spent like £2,000 to get there, and all the trauma and the stress and everything else. If I'd known a lot of these things, do you think I would have would have left? So that's the difficulty, because what were you doing? Come on, tell everybody what you were doing with your, and you can understand it. I mean, I'm not holding her against her. I mean, I'm glad she did it now.
Yeah.
But what were you doing? Because she couldn't understand a word I was saying. So
Yeah.
how were you sorting it out?
So we chatting Jonathan. How many weeks or months that he never think about it that I'm using a translation. So I can, I can reply him without using my mind or thinking, because when you speak somebody like a foreign language, it's scary to this word is wrong. That you think quickly this grammar of mine is wrong, but the time he did not know that I'm using translator.
Okay, so that was the point. I thought she was perfect English, and then here we go, you know. So, but that wasn't quite true. It wasn't 8 months.
Yeah,
Basically, it was only the first 3 months, and then she managed to get her own phone. Hey,
yeah,
and that's when we managed to talk face to
yeah,
face. And obviously, when we spoke face to face, now there was even a bigger problem because up till that point, I thought here was I'm talking to like an English person,
yeah,
and now all of a sudden, this person looks at me. I ask her a question, and she just continues to look at me, and then she'll like say, "I don't like talking. Um, I prefer texting."
yeah,
And I thought, "Oh no, what's going on here? You know, you can talk so nicely." So she didn't actually want to admit, "Hey, I can understand you, or most of you. I can understand most of what you're saying, but
yeah,
I cannot actually converse with you because
yeah,
I can't talk to you. I don't know English."
yeah,
So that never ever came out. And you know, up until the time I came to her, I thought, "Oh, this is weird." You know, I'm not. This is one thing about Grace I didn't really like, the fact that she would always only want to text to me.
yeah,
I wanted to hear her voice. But you know, you're so desperate to want this girl to. You put a lot of time and effort into
yeah,
her that you think, okay, well, I'll get to the Philippines, and we made this commitment, but really, getting to the Philippines would really tell, and it did. Literally, when I got there, and I realized the problem. She does not understand
no,
one word I'm saying. So, and you know, communication is everything,
yeah,
especially in my life.
yeah,
I need communication.
yeah,
And so it was very hard for Grace because she didn't understand why I was putting so much emphasis
yeah,
on this.
yeah,
You know, she should just be. She was like saying, "Well, you should just be happy I'm here. You know, you should just be happy." But no, I needed somebody to talk to. I needed
yeah,
somebody to converse with and understand,
yeah,
and to make these big decisions with. Not to do it through text.
yeah,
So I just thought maybe it's an age gap thing.
yeah,
It's not an age gap thing. It's just a case of her not understanding English or being able to talk it 100%. So she took a bit of umbrage to this, and it made it a bit difficult. But then we kind of sat down together,
yeah,
and I said to her, "You're gonna have to talk.
yeah,
I don't care if you say the wrong word. You know, I
yeah,
will not necessarily correct you because you know, but I will help you."
yeah,
And that's basically how we had to do it. You know, lots of
yeah,
reminders, but that's what we had to do. You can't rely on, because then actually first in the beginning she tried sign language because she kind of grew up doing the sign language. She didn't want to talk. Okay, that was another thing.
yeah,
She grew up not wanting to talk, so everybody in the village knew her as somebody that was deaf and dumb because they'd never heard us talk.
yeah,
She would just make a sign. And you know, Filipinos make lots of signs, with their lips, you know, direction, or with their eyebrows, yes, no. It's frustrating, very frustrating.
yeah,
And all I say to Grace, do not do that with me. Do not. I want to hear a yes. I want to hear a no. And it's hard because it's ingrained. It's ingrained. So sometimes I still get the eyebrows up and down. I get the show us the lips. How do you direct me? Yes. The good thing about Grace, she's got big lips, so it's easy. I know exactly if it's left or right. But still, I don't like that. So that's something we work on and we deal with. But can you believe it? How good her English is now?
I don't know.
Just in a year, basically in a year that we've been together,
Yeah,
her English, she reads English perfectly, really well. She writes it very well. got a lovely handwriting.
Really?
Yeah, you got a good handwriting, and you know, if it, the only thing I can say is still this with the sign language in you that we need to root out, and we also need to keep the communication.
yeah,
You've got to talk. You've got to talk because I think in the Philippines there's still a lot of the silence thing,
yeah.
and although it's not temper, it's
Upset.
it's not upset. It's just they don't want. I think it's part of this. Also, we must maybe talk about this other side. You got temper, and then you got saving face. Hey,
yeah,
it's like the saving face
yeah,
that you got to deal with. So let's go through it quickly now. So yes, I think online dating is very practical in this day and age. It's not expensive. You can go through a lot of people to find the
yeah,
right one very quickly, super quickly. Um, what else? You can catch them out
yeah,
very easily. Um, so the mistakes you mustn't make is don't make too much info about yourself in your profile. Um, like I said, I've got nothing, which is luckily I can
yeah,
say that quite truthfully. But don't put in what you've got. Okay, don't tempt and
yeah,
get the wrong people coming after you. Um, and keep out your kind of like some people want to go on Facebook. I would stay away from that. At least with the other ways, you've got your username and so on.
yeah,
And only when you really trust that person or want that particular person would you then go and offer them your WhatsApp number or something like that. So I wouldn't go straight in for Facebook where they can look at your whole history and your whole who you are and so forth.
yeah,
So yeah, I would say on that dating does work. It's worked in our case. I can't say which dating site you must go to. You got to figure that out. But if you just follow those processes that I've told you, you're going to find somebody. Another thing I'd probably mention is, if, I didn't know anybody in the Philippines. To me, it felt like an alien place, other side of the world, scary. So that's why I had to go and find somebody online. However, it's not necessary to do that. I mean, when I say that, it kind of is because if you go there and you don't know anything,
yeah,
first it'll be very expensive. Also, you don't know anybody and you might get tripped up with the wrong people. So going online, at least you get an idea of who's who. So probably my last little bit of advice is this: don't do what I did. I went there thinking that I'm just going to pick up Grace,
yeah,
I'm going to bring her home, and that's it. I put a lot of stress on myself. I put a lot of stress on Grace. It needs a little bit longer than that. So if you find somebody online, go there, be with her and her family. While you're there, you'll understand how the Philippines works. You might see other people that you like, and then take it from there.
yeah,
You know, don't make any big commitments. Come back home, think about it, make your plans to go there again. I ended up having to go twice anyway. You know, I just thought I'd be clever, save costs, save money, and do it all in one.
yeah,
But it doesn't work, and it takes a lot of stress and perhaps bad decision making. I'm very fortunate that that didn't happen in my case, but it could. I can see very easily how it could. Do not be in a rush. Okay. So that was just our little 2 cents worth, and I think we'll just leave it there for now. Hey.
yeah,
So if you've liked what you've seen, please continue giving the likes. We need those for the algorithm. We need the subscribers once again,
yeah.
so that we can make more of this content, do more, see more, and show more.
Comment.
Make some comments, yeah. Actually, this video came from somebody commenting and asking. I hope I've answered your question. Um, there's pros and there's cons, and really you need to go and find out where that girl
Yeah.
is. You need to find her yourself. Okay. All right.
And share.
Yeah.
click our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
All right then. And
Okay.
we did a little video of Grace making some spring rolls. So if you'd like to watch that too, you can look at the link below. All right,
Okay.
guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.